Hey Bears. Hey Chicago. Guess who still owns you? That's right. The Green Bay Packers managed to get another win on the season to keep our playoff window just that much more open today against the Bears. I know. It is the Bears. Worst team in the NFC. Terrible defense, obviously tanking. But hey, when we've had the season we've had, you take any win you can get. And it started out very rough for the Packers today as we quickly got into a 10-0 hole, eventually a 16-3 hole early in the first quarter, but we were able to just claw back in the game and manage to come away with a victory. Let's go over scoring for a little bit before we get into stats. Cairo Santos kicked a 40-yard field goal for the Bears to make it 3-0 in the first quarter. And then Justin Fields absolutely broke one out for a 55-yard touchdown to make it 10-0 Chicago. Then in the second quarter, Mason Crosby managed to kick a 24-yard field goal to make it 10-3 Chicago. And then David Montgomery for the Bears rushed for a touchdown, but Cairo Santos missed an extra point, giving a 16-3 lead for the Bears. And then with 23 seconds left on fourth down, Aaron Rodgers found the red-hot rookie Christian Watson for a 14-yard touchdown, making it 16-10 going into halftime with the Bears with the lead. Then in the third quarter, the only score of it was a Cairo Santos 28-yard field goal, making 19-10 Chicago. And then fourth quarter, the Packers absolutely exploded. We had A.J. Dillon rush for a 21-yard touchdown. Mason Crosby kicked a 32-yard field goal to make it 20-19. And then off of a Justin Fields interception of Jair Alexander, we had a 46-yard touchdown run on an end around by Christian Watson, who got his second touchdown of the day. And then we went for two to make it a big lead when we converted to Mercedes Lewis on that play. And first half, it was not looking good for the Packers. The Bears were running all over us. And it was just not looking good for the Packers. But we were able to clamp down and win the game off of our offense being patient, calm, run the ball down the throat, and we were able to just win the game. I'm very, very happy about. Let's go over the stats for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers went 18-31 for 182 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions, and was not sacked at all, which is big for this offensive line because David Bakhtiari was not playing. Rushing wise, A.J. Dillon had himself a day. 18 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. Christian Watson had one for 46 for a touchdown. Aaron Jones had 9 carries. He actually left the game with a shin injury, which we're not sure how exactly that's going to go. He had 9 carries for 26 yards, no touchdowns. And then receiving for the Packers, Allen Lazard was a leading receiver with 5 receptions for 67 yards, no touchdowns. Watson had 3 for 48 and a touchdown. A.J. Dillon, 3 for 26. Aaron Jones, 5 for 24. Robert Tonyan, 1 for 10. And Samari Toure had 1 catch for 17 yards. And then defensively, struggled a little bit, but able to find our footing in the second half a lot more. And definitely had a lot better showing against the run than we did last week. Only gave it 155 rushing yards, but had a little problem in the pass game. Devondre Campbell came back off of injury, had 11 total tackles, which is great. Jair Alexander had 7 tackles. Quay Walker had 7 tackles. Alexander had 2 for loss. So did Douglas and Amos each had 1 tackle for loss. Alexander and Keyshawn Nixon both had a pass deflection. And those were the 2 guys who also had interceptions at the end of the game. Jair helped set up the dagger run of Christian Watson, and then Keyshawn ended the game with an interception. And that's it on the Packers side. For the Bears, Justin Fields, 20 of 25, 254 yards and 2 interceptions. He was the Bears' leading rusher, 6 for 71 on 1 touchdown, but that was on the 55. Mostly came on the 55-yard touchdown run he had in that first half. Receiving, Equanimeous St. Brown, the former Packer, had 3 receptions for 85 yards, long 50-60 that he absolutely burnt. Jair Alexander N'Keal Harry had 149, and then Chase Claypool had 5 for 28. And yeah, it was just a very solid all-around game for the Packers, who showed a lot of fight and coming from behind to beat the Bears. And next on the schedule for the Packers, we are actually on our bye week next week, and then we play the LA Rams, which on ESPN Monday Night Football. And that's the game that is also very winnable for the Packers. And so we can take a look into it, and when we go into against the Dolphins, maybe having a shot to get into one of those playoff spots, depending on how everything else shakes up. But we'll see what happens in the future. But very proud of this team coming around and winning a game finally. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.